Shri Gurudeva Datta. Namadharak asks Siddha Yogi, why did ShriVallabh choose Gokarna and why is it called as Gokarna? That is what he wants to know. Siddha Yogi narrates the following incident. He says, Ravana's mother, Kaikasha, who was Pulasti's wife and Pulasti was Brahma's Manasputra, she used to worship the Shiv Linga every day, and every day she would use a new Shiv Linga. One day it so happened that she did not have a Shiv Ling to worship, and so she made one of earth, that is of mud, and she was worshipping it. While she was about to begin her worship, Ravana passed by from there. He happened to see her worshipping Shiv Ling made of mud. So he stopped and asked her, why are you worshipping a mud ling when you are the mother of the king of Sri Lanka? Why is it that you are performing worship with such a small degradable element? She said that there was no Shivling available for her to worship, and so she had to do so with the earth. Ravana said, for what are you doing the Shivling puja? She said, so that she could attain moksha and go to Kailash. Kailash is the abode of Shiva Shankar. Ravan said, why do you want to go to Kailash when I can bring Kailash to you? Saying this, he said, wait for some time, I'll go and bring Shiva himself here in front of you from Kailash. He left for Mount Kailash, and after reaching there, he started shaking the entire mountain with his powerful force. All the creatures trembled with fear. The gods and celestial beings also got scared, and they went rushing to Shiva. They said, one of your devotees, Ravana, has come here and he is creating havoc by shaking this mountain Kailash. Shiva was very angry and he just placed his thumb, that is the toe of his left foot, and pressed the mountain. Ravana's hands were outstretched, and because of the press that Shiva had on the mountain, his fingers got caught between the mountain and the base. He started crying for help and he said, Shiva, Shiva, forgive me. Shiva did not bother to even look at him, and he continued to be in his meditative trance. Ravana praised Shiva through the Tanda Stotra, which we all are quite familiar with. He composed different compositions made of 36 ragas and 9 rasas, and pleased Shiva in such a way that he even removed the veins and arteries of his body and created instruments. Shiva was so pleased with this because, as we all know, he is called Bholenath. So when this devotee Ravana did so many things which were pleasing Shiva, and the Tanda Stotra is considered to be one of the most important and impactful compositions, Shiva removed his toe and Ravana was released from the pain. Ravana then comes to meet Shiva on the Mount Kailas. He prostrates in front of Shiva and asks for pardon. And he says that I did all this because I wanted to carry this mountain to my mother, who is worshipping Shiva every day. Shiva was even more pleased. So he said, if you are such an ardent devotee and your mother also equally is an ardent devotee, then I'll give you my Atma Linga. Why do you want the Shiva Linga? Now, the Atma Linga is supposed to have its own story. The origin of the Atma Linga story goes like this. It seems once Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh were hunting in the forest, and they came upon a black deer which instead of 2 had 3 horns. They hunted this deer, and when they removed or uprooted the horns, they found 3 different Atma Lingas inside that. Each one of the Trinity took one ling, and that is why Shiva's Atma Ling is considered to be very, very important, because it has all his power invested in it. Shiva said that if you worship this Atma Linga and regularly perform your religious rituals on it, then within 3 years, he said, you become Ishwar himself. Ravana was very happy with this. So Shiva was so pleased with Ravan that he gave his Atma Linga to him and told him to take it to Lanka and establish it there. But he also put forth a condition that in case he places it anywhere on earth, it will get fixed there. It cannot be then moved from there. Ravan took leave of Shiva with the Atma Linga with him, and he was very happy that he was going to present his mother with this Atma Linga. In the meantime, what had happened was Narada came to know about this boon which Shiva had conferred on Ravana, that if he prays to the Atmalinga for 3 years, he becomes Ishwar himself, that is Shiva himself. Narad was worried about the consequences, that if a person like Ravan becomes the ruler of the entire universe, then there would be only havoc. Even the consort of Vishnu, Mahalakshmi, would be his servant. That is what Narada thought. He rushed quickly to Shiva and asked him, "What is this boon that you have given in a fit of your over benevolence?" Shiva repented for this and he said, "I do not know now what is the solution to this." Narad then went to Brahma, and along with Brahma, he even pleaded with Vishnu to come up with a solution. Vishnu, Brahma, and Narad came to meet Shiva, and Vishnu told Shiva in a very stern manner that because he is pleased with his devotees' simple worship, he grants boons to the highest level, which sometimes becomes a problematic nature for everyone. Shiva said that yes, I have done this, but then what is the solution? Vishnu says, the only person who can bring us out of this problem is Ganesh, that is Gajanan. Gajanan or Ganesh is a young boy, Vishnu calls him, and as he is the son of Shiva, he has all the spiritual powers in him. Vishnu informs Ganesh that the Shiv Linga, that is Atmaling, has been taken by Ravan, and it would be disastrous if he establishes that in Lanka. There would be destruction of the entire creation. Ganesh then asks Vishnu what is the solution to this and how can he help. He says you have to go and obstruct him, and you have to see to it that he does not carry it further. For this, Narad said that I'll help you out. I'll go ahead and I will create a long conversation with Ravan, whereby he will feel that it is already due time in the evening to do his evening prayers, which we call as Sandhya. In the meantime, he told Ganesh also what he should do. Vishnu in the meantime sent his chakra, Sudarshan chakra, so that the sun was obstructed from spreading its light, and it gave an appearance as if it was going to be sunset. Narad rushed to where Ravan was. He bowed to him and said, I heard that you have taken the Atmalinga with you. Where exactly are you going and how are you going to establish it? Ravan had the Atmalinga, which was very heavy. So actually he did not want to stop and talk to anyone, because first of all he thought that it was evening time, Sandhya time, and his evening prayers were due. He also felt that if he continued his long conversation, then he may find the Atmalinga so heavy that he may have to place it down. So he told Narad, I'm in a hurry to go to Lanka to establish this Atmalinga. In the meantime, Narad kept on asking him questions about the Atmalinga and so many other details. Ravana was getting a little impatient. Narad, after a few minutes, said, I think it is evening now, and it's time for all of us Brahmins to do our evening prayers, that is Sandhya. If you do not stop and do your Sandhya, he just hinted to Ravan, then you may be ceased to be called a Brahmin anymore. Ravan realized that he could not continue to travel to Lanka, and so what he did was he looked around for someone who can hold the linga. Narad rushed off from there to do his evening prayers. Ravan spotted a small young Brahmin lad moving about there in the nearby area. It was none other than Ganesh. He gestured and called this boy towards him, and he asked him, what is your name and who are your parents? The boy said, my name is Ganesh and my parents are Shiva and Parvati. He said, I am scared of you, you look so ferocious, I don't want to talk to you, and the boy tried to run away. Ravan called him and kindly told him that I am not going to harm you in any way. What you have to do is, I am going to the river and doing my evening prayers of the Sandhya. You just hold this linga with you, and till I come back, do not keep it on the ground. Now Ganesh is full of knowledge as to what should be the next action. So he says, Ravana, or rather he says that I will not be able to hold it for a very long time because I am a small boy and this linga is very heavy. So if I call you 3 times and you don't come back, I will place it wherever I find it suitable. Ravan said, do not worry, I will come back before that. Now Ravan goes to the riverside and Ganesha is holding the Atmalinga with him. After a few minutes, Ganesh calls him out and says, "Come fast, this linga is getting heavy." Ravan gestures to him and tells him to wait. Again, after a few minutes, Ganesh tells him, "It is getting heavier, please come fast." But this time, Ravan is in his meditative trance. The third time, Ganesh calls out to him, but there is no response from Ravan. He is continued in his meditation. Now Ganesh says, "I have called out 3 times and this man is not listening to me." So he places that linga on the ground. Now when he places it on the ground, all the gods, goddesses, celestial beings, Mahavishnu, Shiva, Parvati, Lakshmi, everyone is watching. So under the witness of all these divine personalities, the linga is placed on the ground. The moment Ravan opens his eyes and finds that the linga is on the ground, he comes ferociously attacking the child. He says, "You son of a beggar who goes for bhiksha," he calls Shiva that. He says, "You do not know I would have given you so much of wealth in my kingdom, but now I am going to give you a thrashing." So he starts beating this boy. Ravana gives the boy a sound thrashing. The boy runs away from there. Now further what happens is Ravana tries to pull the Atmalinga out of the ground, but as what Shiva had already told him, it got fixed to the ground. Because he tries to pull it with all his might, he is called Mahabaleshwar, and the Kshetra is called Mahabaleshwar Kshetra, which is in Karnataka. Also, as he tries to pull it, the shape of the Atmalinga changed a little and it represents the ear of a cow. That is why it is called Gokarna. Gokarna means the ear of a cow. It is believed that the Shivling at Gokarna was white in the Krita Yuga, yellow in the Treta Yuga, red in Dwapar and black in Kali Yuga. This is the importance of the Gokarna Kshetra. We should visit this place. Till then, we'll keep chanting Shri Gurudeva Datta.